A lot can change in 5 years, from how who gets pushed to how they get pushed to the agendas that WWE are running with. But in this video today, what myself and Bonafide Heat will be doing is going over where we think WWE will be 5 years from now. So this video is going to be a fun one to look back upon. Maybe we're way off the mark. Maybe we predict the future flawlessly. No one knows as of yet, which is the beauty of this video. So without further ado, Kevin, I'll throw this to you. Let's start. What's one thing that will be going on in WWE in 5 years' time?
The first thing, NXT, the crop of NXT talent today, Damian Priest, Keith Lee, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, those guys are going to be main eventing WWE pay-per-views. Because let's face it, in 5 years' time, chances are there will be no more Goldberg, no more Brock Lesnar. So who the hell is going to main event shows? We'll probably have Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the millionth time. That'll be the modern day Cena Orton. Those guys will trade the belt like 200 times. You know, we've never actually seen them actually have a feud, so it's bound to happen at some point. But yeah, I think the NXT crop of talent, that's big. We're going to see Gargano and Cole on, like, they're going to be main eventing Fastlane. They're going to be main eventing SummerSlam, WrestleMania. Like that, I mean, you can see it.
I'm calling this now. WrestleMania 42, 43. One of those shows is going to be main evented by Adam Cole versus Finn Balor for the WWE title. It's going to happen. And when they do, God knows where the ratings will be, because by then, like one of the things I was thinking about, this is more just, not as much wrestling, but I mean, wrestling's a part of this, obviously, because wrestling's like a microcosm of society and whatnot. But really, you look at like culture as a whole, and everything's gotten like, very extreme and like PC and all this kind of stuff nowadays, and it's very much like cancel culture. If this keeps going for 5 years, imagine where we'll be 5 years down the line. Like, imagine come 2026, where we'll be with cancel culture, with, expressing your opinion and being silenced. Like, just imagine that. I mean, bruh. It's just, yeah, but, I mean, building on the point I was making there, like, Cole versus Gargano, Cole versus Balor, these are the matches that'll be main eventing pay-per-views, because, in my personal opinion, I think Vince will still be alive in 5 years. I mean, most definitely. His mother's like 99. Like, Vince will still be alive in 5 years. He'll be what? 80? 81?
Yeah. He'll be around there, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Vince will be like 81. He'll still be alive and well. But by then, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, these two will be firmly entrenched in like the heart of WWE and operating the business. Like, yes, they pretty much are now. Like, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H have been a big part of why WWE has gone, down the gutter in the past 5 years. But nonetheless, picture it 5 years from now, Kevin. Just imagine Monday Night Raw. It's 3 hours long. It's legit NXT for 3 hours. There's just a bunch of 20-minute matches. No one really cares. Just,
Yeah, the thing is, WWE is going to lose their TV deal. As soon as this deal with USA Network is up, they're going to lose their deal. Maybe they'll get picked up by some second-grade network like Paramount or something like that. Maybe they'll get picked up by them. But realistically, they're probably going to be streamed on Peacock. And like, if you're asking me like where WWE and Vince McMahon probably saw where they'd be 5 years from now, you probably think that like Vince would probably be thinking like, oh, WWE Network is going to have like 20 million subscribers. It's going to be this cultural hit. It's going to be like the Netflix of WWE. Instead, WWE is going to be on Peacock, like NBC streaming service. It's just like bonkers. We're going to see Raw on Peacock. Nobody's going to be watching it because it'll be live streamed. Yeah, I don't know what wrestling Twitter is going to do. Only people on wrestling Twitter, they're the only people that are going to be watching Raw at that point.
Oh, God, yeah. Because by then, it'll literally be like, oh, let's watch Johnny Gargano versus, I don't know, Dexter Lumis in a 25-minute match on Raw. And it'll be like a Peacock exclusive, like, WWE Raw. And, like, one thing I want to mention there, you talked about, like, how much the climate's changed in, like, 5 years. And how, like, Vince's expectations 5 years ago not meeting what they are now. Like, I've got some rating numbers here. Now, granted, this was technically 6 years ago as of now, but 6 years ago, the April 5th, 2015 episode of Raw, this is, like, the second show after WrestleMania 31, that show drew 5.35 million viewers. 5.35 million. And then, at the moment, 5 years removed from where we are today, Monday Night Raw drew 3.869 million. Now, Monday Night Raw is lucky to pull above 1.7 million viewers. So that's the 5 year shift in Monday Night Raw. with that kind of trend, Monday Night Raw, they're not getting another TV deal. Because give it another year or so, they'll be getting 1.3, 1.4. You think USA Network are going to be like, oh, look at those trends. That's the kind of stuff we want to be paying $1 billion for. Like, WWE, they're going to lose their TV deal with the USA Network. That's one thing that it seems just like it's going to happen. Because yes, Raw's been the flagship show on USA for countless years now. But with the ratings numbers and the direction they're going, like, what kind of executive is going to pay, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 digits for a 3-hour Raw every week? Like, come on.
Well, TV will be done. TV is going to be done once the NFL and the NBA go to streaming. Once that happens, there's literally no reason to have TV. Everybody's just going to be streaming. There's no reason to have cable, satellite, because that's the only reason why people have it now is to watch the NBA games on ESPN or NBA League Pass or whatever. There's no other reason to have cable. Yeah, so people are watching Raw.
Yeah, I mean, everything will be on either YouTube, you'll have Netflix, and you've got Hulu, and just these countless streaming services, Amazon Prime, Amazon TV, etc., etc. There's so many different places where this content can be put on. Like, WWE will be going to Peacock, and then presumably Monday Night Raw, and Raw will be going to some other network, like as you mentioned, some low-grade, random network, and they'll be getting a couple 100,000 viewers. They'll be getting Impact ratings for Raw because it's some random network exclusive. It's going to be weird 5 years from now, because the way we consume content has changed so much in the previous 5 years, but I mean in the next 5 years it's going to change even more. You mentioned TV dying. I think that's a great point to mention, because boy oh boy, cable television, it's a shell of what it used to be. Nowadays ratings aren't great. Only select few things get above several million viewers anymore. TV's changed so much, it really has.
No, let me say this too.
Yeah.
People are probably going to say, oh my god, AEW, they're going to change everything. AEW, the Forbidden Door, New Japan, they're going to be above WWE. They'll be doing better ratings. No. AEW is on the same network as the NBA. AEW literally is being advertised in the middle of primetime TNT NBA games. And they still can't do over 1 million viewers. Nobody watches the show. It's not even
over 1 million. They barely get over 750,000. And the thing I've seen people saying, oh well, when the contract was signed between TNT and AEW, the expectation was 400,000 to 500,000. So AEW's a success. I'm like, okay, so they're floundering at 750,000 viewers. That's a success.
But they're not gonna eclipse Raw. They're not gonna eclipse SmackDown. They barely eclipse NXT. Every week, and ratings don't really. How much do ratings even matter? I don't think they really do, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because TV's dying. It's a dying breed. Nobody watches TV anymore. TV ratings, I think, is overhyped, especially because there's nothing else to talk about among wrestling fans and wrestling culture.
Well,
realistically, 6 years ago, 5 million people were watching Raw. Okay, that's fair. I get that, but think about what was happening 5 years ago. You had Brock Lesnar F5ing Michael Cole. That's a moment that I would tell my friends who don't watch wrestling, hey, check this out. Tune into Raw. You got to tune into Raw next week. Brock Lesnar just attacked somebody for real. You have to see this. That was must-see stuff. Nobody is going to tell their friends, hey, I got to tune in and I got to watch Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano on Raw in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Nobody wants to see that. That's not must-see.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And really, one of the things that I want to really emphasize with this is it goes to show you, WWE in the past few years, they had the Saudi Arabia deal, you've had the USA Network deal, you've had now the Peacock deal, and God knows how many other billion-dollar deals they're going to get. It's clear based on the rating numbers I read before, what you said there, and just the general point of this video, that there's no correlation between ratings and business success. Okay, clearly when WWE's signing billion-dollar deal after billion-dollar deal and setting themselves up for the next 15, 20, 25, 30 years with this kind of money, there's no correlation between the Raw ratings and that. So inevitably in 3 years' time, when AEW beats Monday Night Raw in viewership, that's not going to mean jack squat, because AEW, they're probably not going to have any of those billion-dollar deals. What company is it going to pay $1 billion to get the rights to AEW Dynamite, where you can have 5 tag team matches every Dynamite, or AEW Dark, where you have 15 different 4-minute long squash matches with people you've never heard of? Like, bro.
There's nobody in AEW that Tony Khan could go up to the Saudi Prince and be like, hey, yeah, this guy is a star from the Attitude Era.
But we've
Or
got
everybody in your country is gonna know him.
But we've got Fat Jericho. We've got Sting, who can barely walk. We've got, I don't know, John Moxley, the guy who he was formerly Dean Ambrose. You know Dean Ambrose? Oh, not really. Like, come on.
Yeah, like you look at Vince is getting these billion-dollar deals. Yeah, whatever. Okay, that's good. But there's gonna be a point in time where the Undertaker can't go out there and wrestle, where Goldberg can't go out there and wrestle, where Edge can't wrestle, where Randy Orton can't wrestle. There's going to be a point in time when all the guys that are famous from yesteryear, they're going to be gone. And chances are it's probably going to be in 5 years. Randy Orton will still be around, but Randy Orton, he'll be probably part-time wrestling on like 2 or 3 pay-per-views a year. Edge will be gone. Who else? Who are the other big part-timers? Goldberg will be gone.
Yep.
John Cena will be in Hollywood making movies with The Rock.
Brock.
John Cena will be gone.
Yeah,
Rock will be coming around.
Yep.
There's nobody. That's it. There's no stars. There's no more part-timers. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Kane, they'll all be too old to wrestle matches in 5 years. So what are they going to do? You're going to have Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns? That's going to headline a Saudi show?
Yeah.
Saudi's going to be paying $1 billion for that?
And then give it 5 more years, and these guys nowadays who are considered the present, these guys like Nakamura, Cesaro, who are literally like 40, these guys would be like 45. And I mean, people are like, oh, push a young guy, even though these guys aren't young at all. These are like middle-aged men at this point. But like who's the youth that's really going to come up and save WWE? Who are the people who WWE gonna put the jetpack on and propel? Like Reigns, sure. Drew McIntyre, I guess. Like that's it.
Yeah, they'll be 40. They'll be 40 in 5 years.
40, that's crazy. That's crazy.
They'll be 40. Like, there's nobody. Like you said, there's nobody. There's like the quote unquote young guys in NXT. Johnny Gargano's like in his mid 30s. Ricochet is in his mid 30s. Adam Cole, I think, is in his early 30s, so he'll be in his mid 30s by the time 5 years comes around. Like, there's nobody.
Yeah.
And then you have like with women's wrestling, you'll probably have. We have to go to this point. You'll probably have an all women's show that's a Peacock exclusive that streams on like Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, guarantee it.
You have like Sasha Banks versus Bayley for the 1200th time on this damn Peacock show. And like maybe like you have Peacock will probably have like 50 million subscribers in 5 years because they have The Office and they have George Lopez. They have all these awesome shows.
Yeah.
Out of 50 million people, how many people are going to watch Sasha Banks and Bayley on a Tuesday night?
No, you have like Belair versus Flair 47 on the Peacock exclusive women's show. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, you can picture this 5 years down the line. Stephanie McMahon will have this like women's show, and like hardly anyone will watch it, and it's just gonna be a mess, won't it? Like,
yeah, this is the landscape of WWE in 5 years. Nobody's gonna be watching Raw because Raw is at 1.3 million. In 5 years, there won't be any Raw on TV at the rate they're going. Like you said, they'll be on a network, like a hunting network that 200,000 people watch.
Yeah, and that'll be the business in 5 years. Like, it's weird to put into perspective, but yeah, that's where it'll be. Because look where they were 5 years ago. Look where they are now. Like,
do you see anything that can turn this around? Is there any way that this can turn around? Do you see like WWE going 14 again, or like a big star coming out of nowhere? Do you see anything like turning around the success of like Raw? Because like WWE in Saudi Arabia is big. They get billions of dollars. They get billions of dollars from Australia, whatever. But like those people aren't watching every week because they don't. Like when Raw is on, it's on for the United States audience. People in England, people in Saudi Arabia, they're not watching. So like, what is going to save WWE? I don't know.
Well, I think like the way they'll save it is they genuinely need like 2 to 3 to 4 years of consistently really good storytelling, writing, and creative, which makes top stars and big names out of guys who nowadays we see as like but if you have really good writing for a few years, that can happen. But with that being said, will they do that? Considering they're getting $1 billion deal after $1 billion deal? God, no chance Vince McMahon is trying any harder with the creative side of things, considering he just got another $1 billion from Peacock. So in that regard, do I see anything that they realistically are going to do that's going to save the relevancy of their product and save WWE? Like, I really can't. Like, I don't know really what they can do at this point. Because you bring in Bad Bunny, like the most streamed, most well-known, famous artist on the planet at the moment, bring him in, and yeah, you get some insane Instagram pictures, like likes on Instagram posts, you get merch sales going up on Bad Bunny items, but raw ratings stay the same. Because no one's going to tune into a 3-hour-long show filled with squash matches and boring, terrible writing just to watch a 2-minute Bad Bunny backstage segment. So, look, I don't know what they can do, honestly, at this point. Like,
yeah, I don't know, because Roman Reigns isn't drawing ratings. But ratings don't even matter, honestly. Like, in 5 years, this is what's going to happen. In 5 years, I'm calling it right now. You're going to have, because they're getting $1 billion from Peacock anyway, you're going to have like 16 pay-per-views or quote-unquote network specials. There's going to be like 2 a month in some months. You're going to have WrestleMania is not even going to feel like WrestleMania anymore because WWE is getting paid all this money for it. Yeah, they'll sell out a football stadium because a bunch of European people will book their vacation around WrestleMania. But like, what's going to happen? Well, are there going to be any big WrestleMania moments? Probably not. Like, the WrestleMania build is lazy now. Imagine the WrestleMania build in 4 years for WrestleMania 41 when WWE has already got paid for the WrestleMania 4 years ago. They already got paid to air it.
Yeah,
the build is going to be non-existent.
You excited to see Parker Bordeaux versus Brock Lesnar main event WrestleMania 40? You excited to see that? Like, well,
what is going to happen?
I don't even know. I mean, Parker you could push as the next big thing, I guess, but people are just like, he's just the next Mason Ryan or Ryback, and then he'll just get buried and people will boo him. Like, I don't know where they can go. Like, it's a weird outlook 5 years from now, like picturing where the business will be, considering where it is now. Like, it's already as niche as it gets now, but it's going to get more niche considering what they're doing at the moment is just driving away more and more fans. Like, they're not drawing anyone in. Like, NXT, AEW, Raw, SmackDown. SmackDown's okay at best, but really, it's not drawing in the new viewers like you'd hope. So,
and yeah. How did they get? I don't understand how they got $1 billion for the WWE Network. Like, what is Peacock paying for? I don't understand.
Yeah, I wouldn't have paid $1 billion for it. It's just because like WWE is like a content machine. Like, that's literally the only reason. And you're paying for like the brand or like the name, I guess.
Yeah, you're paying for the back libraries too, right? Of Austin McMahon, the Austin McMahon rivalry. You're paying for Hogan and Savage. But what's going to happen? Because as time goes by, there's going to be people that don't even know that Hogan and Savage happened because Hogan ruined his legacy. So WWE can't mention him anymore. So nobody's going to know about the Hogan Savage, Hogan Warrior, Hogan Andre. And there's going to be a couple of times where people don't even know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is because WWE has cucked him out. And they don't let him do anything to capitalize on his fame. All he does is a podcast. Like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the most famous wrestler from the 90s, is doing a podcast. Like, Stone Cold should be in movies. He should be a mainstream superstar, but WWE won't let him use a Stone Cold name.
But instead, we're doing Broken Skull Sessions. It'll be like 5 years from now, Broken Skull Sessions on the Peacock network with like Kalisto. Like, that'll be Steve Austin. And then people like won't know him. Hulk Hogan, like people of my generation, people who like were born in the 21st century, like they're not gonna know who Hogan from the 80s was. Like he's a distant, long gone figure. He's like a timeless legend, but he's not doing anything relevant to really, keep up with the mainstream. Like the only talk about Hogan nowadays is negative, basically. So, like, what's Hogan gonna do? Like wrestling's legacy is just gonna get faded away in 5 years' time, even more. And what we'll get is just more nerdy, nerd culture pro wrestling. Because that's what wrestling is. Wrestling is nerd culture. It just fits in the fabric of anime, Yu-Gi-Oh, etc., etc. That's all like wrestling is nowadays. And 5 years from now, it's going to be even worse. It's going to be even more hardcore nerd culture, and even more of the quote-unquote normal people who still watch today will be gone. So,
Yeah. Let me just close with this because I know we're running low on time.
Yep.
So I'll say this is my last point. You have the going back to the backlog. In 5 years, nobody's going to know about the Attitude Era because WWE cannot mention the Attitude Era because of Chris Benoit, because he's all over the freaking Attitude Era. So they literally have to pretend like that didn't happen. All these great moments, like they're non-existent. Randy Orton's first world title win, they can't mention. The Eddie main event at WrestleMania 20, they can't mention that. You can't show WrestleMania 17 because Benoit is on the show. The best WrestleMania of all time, you can't show it. So they're living off the Attitude Era to an extent. But in 5 years' time, when nobody knows who Stone Cold is, what are they going to be living off of? Because they literally can't show the Ruthless Aggression Era at all. So,
and what are you gonna show? What are you gonna show from sorry, Kate, what are they going to show from nowadays? You're going to show, oh my god, look at the great Stomping Grounds 2019 match and moment. Like, the
Yeah,
shows...
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
They're going to be living off of like Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns from Money in the Bank 2016 in 5 years. And like, who cares? They'd be living off of like 09, John Cena Edge versus Big Show. Who cares about who's paying to see those things, to see those matches?
Literally. And I think we'll close it out there. So WWE in 5 years, in summary, real quick, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H will just ran the company, like, you know, basically to the ground almost. They'll have all these, like, big deals. The wrestling will be even more nerdy and more in nerd culture than it even is now. There'll be Cole versus Gargano versus Balor as, like, the main event of WrestleMania 42. You'll have all these just 3-hour Raws exclusive to Peacock, which will feature these 25-minute matches that only, you know, the ultimate of wrestling hardcore fans will still be watching. Like that'll be where wrestling is in 5 years. Because the last 5 years has led us to this point more than ever. And now the next 5 years is going to be a continuation, I feel like. So that's been the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, like, comment, sub, all that kind of stuff. See ya.